Lovely. Good morning, everybody. Let's let them in. Right. So to start this morning, as it's Christmas and we've all got our lovely Christmas jumpers on and a few of us have got hats on, I'm going to do a couple of Christmas facts. So the first one is the first printed reference to a Christmas tree, which bizarrely was made from goose feathers, was in 1531 in Germany. And if you're lucky enough to get all the gifts in the 12 days of Christmas, that would equal 364 gifts. However, the true love mentioned in the song 12 Days of Christmas does not refer to a romantic couple, but the Catholic Church's code for God. The person who receives the gifts represents someone who has accepted that code. So, for example, the partridge in a pear tree represents Christ, and the two turtle doves represent the Old and New Testaments. Moving on. So, most of Santa's reindeer have male-sounding names, such as Blitzen, Comet, and Cupid. However, male reindeers shed their antlers around Christmas, so the reindeers pulling Santa's sleigh are likely not male, but probably female. So once again, it's the women doing the work. And Santa Claus is based on a real person, St. Nicholas of Myra, also known as Nicholas the Wonder Worker, Bishop St. Nicholas of Smyrna and Nicholas of Bari, who lived during the 4th century and was born in modern-day Turkey. He is the world's most popular non-biblical saint, and artists are portrayed him more other than any other saint except for Mary. And I wonder how many of you already know this. He is the patron saint of banking, pawnbroking, pirating, butchery, sailing, thievery, orphans, royalty, and bizarrely New York City. And on a personal note, because anybody that knows me will know this, during the Christmas season, nearly 28 sets of Lego are sold every second. Every second. And I probably would only get one of them. Very bizarre. So, moving on then. So they're my little facts. Admit all. And now we're going to go straight to Sarah, who's got a HMRC update. Hey there, yes. Morning, Sarah.
Morning. I love a bit of Lego.
I
haven't got a huge amount on anything new from HMRC though at the moment, but what I just thought I would do, as Janet and I were on a plane, weren't we, at the last meeting, and we had the Chancellor's budget, so Mr. Hunt's new autumn budget. So I just thought I'm sure you've all been through this, but I just thought I'd pick out some of the highlights from that as well. So on the personal tax front, the additional tax rate band will be reduced from 150,000 to 140,000. So that's averaging about another £1,200 for people in that to pay in tax for people in that tax bracket. The personal tax allowance threshold is going to stay the same until 2028. The inheritance tax threshold has been frozen again until 28. The dividend allowance, though, will be reduced from 2,000 to 1,000 next year, and then down to £500 in 2024. So that's going to hit a few people. Capital gains tax annual exemption will be cut from 12,300 to 6,000 from April, and then again a big that will be halved again to 3,000 in April 24. Electric vehicles are no longer going to be exempt from vehicle exercise duty from April 25, so we've got a little bit longer with that. And then significantly, the national living wage will increase to £10.42 an hour for individuals aged 23 and over from April 23. So again, more changes to the payroll. While it's welcome news for many, this is actually going to hit some of the low-paying sectors again, and I should imagine hospitality is going to get another battering. They've had it through COVID, and I think that's going to continue. then onto business taxes. So it's not all bad news. They've actually, Mr. Hunt has frozen the employer's NIC threshold. So that still remains at 5,000. So that will encompass quite a lot of the clients that we deal with on a day-to-day basis as well. So apparently that's been frozen until 28. They've reduced the R&D tax thresholds, which is a bit disappointing. The proposed increase in corporation tax to 25% is effective from April 23, so that has stayed in place. And the hotly anticipated rise in VAT to 25% did not happen, so that was a good thing. And the VAT registration of 85,000 and deregistration of 83,000, they are going to remain in place and not be reviewed until March 26. We have got the benefit in kind for electric cars. That's going to increase. So I have an electric car, so I'm paying attention to this. So from increase of 3% for the 25-26 tax year, 4% for the following year, and 5% again after that. But also non-electric cars would also see a 1% increase over that timescale too. So it's still far more beneficial to be having an electric car. And the other big change is really with the stamp duty. That threshold, the first time where it applies from, increases from 125,000 to 250,000. The threshold for the first time buyers will increase from 300 to 425. So again, that's good. And then the maximum purchase price for relief for first time buyer increases from 500,000 to 625,000. So lots of changes, and I'm sure there will continue to be changes. So what that means is that all our clients need us. That's the message I want to drill home. So, and the other thing is, while there is a huge pressure on employers with cost, the cost of living crisis, I mean, they're getting it from both ends, from employers, from staff, wanting more increase in wages, and obviously some of it is legislative as well. If we need to put up our own prices, do so. Don't think that it's an appropriate time to be putting up your prices. If it's your annual review, continue and go ahead and do that. Everybody's expecting that, and actually in some ways, because the message is from everywhere prices are going up, there's no reason for you to hold back. So if you've got a price review due, go ahead with it. Don't hold back, because we are very, very important people, and employers are going to need us to navigate them through these difficult times. So don't undervalue yourself, is my message. So
thank you very much.
There you go. Back to you, Caroline.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Interesting updates there. So moving swiftly on, I'm going to go to Sam now, who's going to be celebrating the wins of the members in 2022 and how the IAB can support you in achieving yours for the next year. So good morning, Sam.
Good morning. Good morning. Right, let me just share my screen. Can everybody see that? Oh, but hold on a second.
Oh, straight onto me. I love
Straight
it.
onto you. Oh, hold on a second. I'm really not good with.
You should be good to share it though.
Good to share it. I just can't move
Find it.
It won't move.
Are you frozen?
Holes, yeah. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Sorry for that. That can knock me off my flow. But off the back of Sarah's, self-belief and very important people, we have a different coffee morning because it's the last one of the year. So we've got no speakers, and we thought that if you can't give yourself a pat on the back at the end of the year, having got through to the end of the year, then when can you do it? So we're going to share some of the really positive stories from members across 2022. Now, we've reached out to our ambassador groups and the members in the ambassador groups to get these stories. So if any of you are on the coffee morning and want to put something in the chat or want to elaborate on it, then please do so. But also, if you identify or resonate with any of these wins and you want to share your win, then please do so. Caroline, I can't see the chat. So if anybody puts the hand up or wants to say anything, if you could stop me in mid-flow and let me know that.
I will, because currently all the members are muted as well. So if you want someone to actually speak, did you say if they're thing
Only if
comes
they
up.
want to, only if they want to, no.
Right.
Basically, some people have put their names forward, some people haven't. Where the names have been put forward, we've used them. But it's really, it's an inclusive session. It's to, you know, celebrate everyone's good work, hard work, getting to the end of the year. So, you know, if you want to say something, then, you know, please do so. Sarah and I are going to do a little bit of a double act as we go through.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's something for everybody. So please do get involved if you want to.
If you just let me know by putting it in the chat, and then I'll try and find you and unmute you as quickly as I possibly can.
Excellent. Thank you. So firstly, you know, getting all of these stories in was a really positive experience, I think, for me, in terms of like putting them all together and celebrating stories of achievements. It was, I suppose, great that they all kind of like fell into certain boxes quite naturally. You know, and these are all stories around, you know, client growth, scalability of person's business. They were really inspirational. So on a personal level, some of them, and some of them on a business level. And it also showed how they interlink in terms of personal and business in a lot of instances, which I'm sure we can all identify with. How people have grown in confidence and have kind of like bigged up their confidence to get to a next step or to achieve something. And ultimately, they all result in progression. So it's great to, you know, look back over the year, look back at what we've achieved. Obviously, there's been highs and there's been lows, but this is all about the highs. So as I said before, you know, please do put your hand up or come in the chat if you're that person or you identify with anything.
Yeah, and Rachel Bowden's put in the chat, my group's wins have included ideal clients, getting rid of difficult clients who are always late with documentation or don't comply with our working methods. Well done.
There you go.
That's an achievement in itself, getting rid of some clients.
Indeed. And we've kept yeah. We've kept the feedback to groups, which is how we've received the feedback. So just to kind of like try and portray it as like for like as we've got it, but it has been a bit edited. So you know, I'm sorry if I haven't put everything down there, but I'll try and elaborate as I go on. But firstly, we're with Ambassador Coffee with Joyce, who have had you know, business growth across the groups. They've had 3 new payroll clients and 2 new bookkeeping clients. And the clients have been gained by word of mouth from current clients or accountants of current clients. So that's a really positive story.
Yeah, and just to talk into that, well, word of mouth is they are the best referrals that you could possibly get, and a lot of my business has grown through that. It's also what's been really important to me is the strategic alliances that I've had with accountants, business coaches, other bank managers, other business owners in the community as well. But the relationship with accountants and accountants with bookkeepers is really a very, very important relationship. And that was very key for me when I was growing my practice to start with as well. So I specifically went out and found all the accountants in the area and introduced myself. But what was the best way, rather than sometimes it was difficult to cold call, the better way to start a conversation with an accountant was when I took on a new client that I specifically went out of my way to introduce myself to that accountant and have the excuse of discussing our mutual client with them, but then make that as the in to be able to have a face-to-face meeting with that accountant. And when I was there, then I was able to go, right, you know, this is me, this is all the services I provide. And, you know, if you have other clients, you know, this could be a way that we can work together. So the hardest part of that relationship is getting an in. So that was a way that I managed to create those initial introductions with accountants. And I think that's a really, really good way to go forward. The other thing I also refused to do, though, with those accountants that I worked with, was to do white labeled work. I always worked with them directly, because I engaged with the client directly myself, because I wanted my brand to be known and I wanted to have control of the services that I offered too. But I also, you know, I had a strong positive relationship with the accountants as well, because I think they do a different job to the bookkeepers anyway. So the client needs the differential between that accountant and the bookkeeper, because there's 2 different services offered. So But yeah, really, I would very much promote that relationship, and for accountants too, to be working with good bookkeepers. That absolutely promotes the work that you're able to offer too. So anyway, that's and there's other things I did too. I did a lot of networking to start with. I tried different networking groups. Some fitted with me, some didn't. It depends on your personality. So, you know, go and try different. You know, B&I has a very, very different feel to A4, you know, was it A4N that used to be around a while ago, but there's lots of different groups. So find one that you're comfortable with. And more recently, if I go and speak, public speaking as well, that's often an opportunity to engage with people in the room as well, because they're all people there that want to do business, or they have a need, is why they're there. But yeah.
Some of my best clients have come from a breakfast club.
Right, there you go. Yeah.
And I left the breakfast club 4 years ago, and the mortgage advisor still sends me clients.
There you go. So that's an example of a strategic alliance. So I've got a business coach who's we've referred a lot of work backwards and forwards to each other over the time as well. So you'll find that there's niche people that work. And actually right now is a really good time to say thank you to all those people as well. Christmas is a really good excuse to, you know, reach out with send a bottle of wine, box of chocolates, and just say thank you for that. So that's what I'm doing now as well.
Rachel says really missing face-to-face networking. I think it's certainly back up and running in this area. So if you're in Yorkshire, face-to-face is back up and going, Rachel. So I'd have a look about, see if you can find something.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, well done to those people in Joyce's group. Caroline had a sneaky preview of Caroline's group before, but big year for Caroline. So Caroline moved into a new office this year.
Yeah, not there today due to the weather. It's snowing here and I'm not the best in snow. Unfortunately, I had my computer and some work with me, so I stayed at home this morning. I dipped out of my office this morning. Me and the dog decided, no, it's too cold. But yeah. Eva's just added to the group. Eva is also a part of my ambassador group. And being in Caroline's ambassador group is already one big win. Oh, thank you, Eva. Feeling the love today. Other successes of Fidettes at the firm where I'm staff member. We have new clients, more Europeans starting, stroke doing business in the UK. That's lovely, Eva. Thank you. Keep me up this morning.
Brilliant.
And then I just want to say about Kathy as well. I'm not sure if Kathy's on this coffee morning, but Kathy's grown to a point where she's now taking on a member staff. So, no, I can't see her. So well done, Kathy, if you're there. Yeah. And if not, yeah.
They're two big milestones in your group then. That's good.
Really good this year, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Well done. And then the coffee crew, which is Louisa's group, I believe. This is all about Tory, of Tory Trust, Tory accounting and bookkeeping. I think this is kind of like quite a common situation, and also quite a difficult one. And it's also a good example how I've edited an awful lot of information. So Tory, I apologise, but hopefully I've done it justice. But you were doing bookkeeping for a charity for quite some time, firstly as a freelancer, then as an employee, and then as a client after Tory set up her own practice. Your hourly rate has always been quite low, which she didn't mind because it was a charity, but after setting up a practice, it became unsustainable. And obviously it's quite a difficult position to be in, especially when you've worked with a client, or in this case, a charity, for quite a long time. How do you, raise your fee? Also the guilt feeling because it is a charity. But obviously the confidence in setting up a new practice, and also the belief in yourself that you're doing a good job, you've been doing it for a long time, clearly they value your work. After a fee review, the charity agreed to the increased hourly rate, which was what Tory felt was the right fee for the job that she was doing. So a really positive outcome, I think, on that. And well done, Tory, for having the confidence to go forward and do that. And it was actually a scenario. I don't know if many of you saw the confidence webinar that a lady called Kim Searle did back in September. It was actually one of the, I think we got 65 requests for that particular webinar. So it was really, really well received, and a fee review and getting more money from a client was actually one of the examples that she used in terms of, you know, how to plan for that. So well done. I don't know if you've got anything to add, Sarah.
I think this is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, because while it's easy to put a fee review up for new clients, moving our legacy clients onto the rate they should be paying can feel quite daunting. But I've always had a good outcome from these conversations, and they never are as difficult as they first appear to be as well. So I think most of the difficulty is around the client probably not fully understanding the amount of work you're doing or the level of work that you're doing, and what they can take you a bit for granted because you're always there. So I think there's a lot of explanation needed, and if you've got a good relationship, I mean, as this example's just showing, people don't normally push back. They want to keep you, they want to keep that relationship, and so long as it's reasonable, it's normally received quite well. And you know, if you do this and somebody says no, well then quite frankly that frees you up to go and find somebody that will pay what you're worth. So this is a brilliant example.
Absolutely.
Sorry, and I have got one other thing to add too. One of the ways which I always explain as well, just to or you know, couch the whole conversation, is that as a subcontract, you know, as an independent, not an employee of a business, the business itself is saving, you know, employers NI, it's saving holiday, any you know, any maternity, any other those additional employment costs anyway. So actually it nets out sometimes the same, and actually often cheaper. So if you point that out too, that also helps support your case for putting up your fees.
Sean's put in the chat, does anyone else feel uncomfortable taking clients from another practice, and how do they deal with that feeling? I'm sorry, Sean, I've never felt uncomfortable taking on a new client.
No, I mean, it tends to be they're coming to you for a reason, so they're unhappy. Yeah,
I've never experienced that.
So no, not at all. There's another question in the chat.
Heather's put, hi, I've built up business relationships with a local accountant who has passed quite a bit of business my way this year. I've also had client referrals. Well done, Heather. Yeah. That's the way to go though, isn't it? It's build up those relationships with other people, and the best business is by word of mouth.
A quality referral.
Sean's said thanks.
A quality referral from an accountant or, you know, a business coach. It's really because people are then coming to do business. They're not coming to find. They're not on an internet price comparison. It's not about that.
Just sorry, Sarah. I was doing some networking in Scarborough, and some of it was through the IAB with a business enterprise centre, and I was trying to get my foot in the door. And what I wanted, they helped start up businesses, and I wanted them to give my business card out to their new, and they didn't. And I went to an event where Janet was there, and I did a Zoom event for the IAB, and I asked and asked, and I kept getting knocked back. And in May I got an office, and then unfortunately I had to move out of that office in September, October time, and I contacted them and I got an office with them, and bizarrely they are now my clients. I now oversee the accounts for one of their branched out businesses, and when they get a new startup business, they've finally agreed to give me to put out my business card. So if you see something in your area and think that's what I want, don't stop because you get knocked back. Just keep going, because surprisingly enough, one day you'll just get there.
You will. Yeah. If I get a no, I'm always like, that's nearer. That's one no out the way. It's nearer my yes. So don't take it personally.
But so persistence paid off for me. Right, Rachel, I've had more inquiries for new business in the last month than ever before. Is anyone else experiencing this? I'm fairly busy, but yeah, I wouldn't say I was.
Rachel, this will increase as bookkeeping always, demand for bookkeeping, and that will always increase through a recession, and we are in a recession now. So and I've seen this pattern, I've experienced it and read about it, and I know historically this is how it works. So I think everyone will be experiencing uplift in work as well for next year. So recessions are good for us.
And Angie's put, all of my work has been word of mouth, and I've been trading a very long time. Yeah, word of mouth is really good. I've had new clients come in that are already signed up with a software package, all getting ready for making tax digital. So that's good.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
back to you then, Sam.
Thank you. Now let's go to the next one and getting some really good wins from everybody here. Everyone's sharing their positives. All right, I've gotten stuck again. No, it's not going anywhere. Oh, there we go. It'll probably jump again here. So Bijou Coffee Club, which is Elaine's group, and this is a massive story. And I have condensed it a lot. So Karen, I don't know if you're on the call or not, but it's a truly inspirational story. And I can understand why it's a big win on many levels. But ultimately, a whistle stop tour. But in August 2015, after quite a long time, it seems, of misdiagnosis, Karen was sadly told that she had a brain tumour. She had two lengthy surgeries, and the tumour was successfully removed. And on both occasions, Karen references that her quick road to recovery was attributed to her really high levels of fitness because of her love of running. So, the fact that she had a healthy lifestyle really helped her in her recovery time. Aside that, Karen had her own practice, which really gave her focus. And I think this is what she's really trying to convey from her story. And she wanted to get back running and get back to work as quickly as she could. And I'm sure there's lots more to the story about what her doctors may have told her or her friends and family, but she did have that focus. And she was determined to be out of hospital at a local park run first birthday. And she was there, albeit from the sidelines, but she was there cheering everybody on. So clearly that determination really shining through there. When Karen was diagnosed, she gave up her license. So she already started moving her clients over to cloud-based solutions, so she could deliver that continuity because she knew she'd be home working, which again, is giving all of the things that you probably had to think about, Karen. Again, shows focus and commitment to your business. And even though she was told that she had to have a month off and that maybe she shouldn't get back running, and she didn't get back running straight away, but she did get back to work because it seems that crochet just wasn't doing it for her. So she needed a bit more of a challenge. But ultimately, to say this is a heavily edited story, and the outcome of this was that even though she's clearly very focused and committed to her practice, and she had she does reference that all of her friends that she had that were there supporting her to get to her appointments, and her partner. She does say that this life-changing experience did make her realize that she was happy with the practice. She'd worked really hard to get where she was, and she liked the balance that she had. So she's not necessarily looking to strive forward and to achieve lots more necessarily. She was happy with the success that she had delivered, and that she was there working on maintaining a good balance within her life. So it's an amazing story. As I said, this is where it bridges personal and professional. So again, a massive win to have achieved and come that far.
Yeah, no, a big round of applause for Karen, really. So yeah, quite an incredible story. Actually reading it, I thought it was quite nice that actually we've got the ambassador groups in place now, so that I would really hope that if someone experienced, hopefully nothing of this extreme, but you're able to rely on the people in your group to help you with your clients through a difficult period. So that's again was one of the hopes that Janet and I had when we set up, the ambassador program as well. So well done, Karen.
Elaine's put in the chat, Karen is such an inspiration to our group. Love you, Karen. Yes, well done, Karen. Very inspirational.
Excellent.
Mohammed's put amazing. Karen, thank you, and to everyone in the Bijou group, as we really are a great support to each other.
Good. That's really good to hear.
Good.
Yeah, it is good to hear. Next up is Coffee with Angie. And here we have Usman, who at the beginning of the year gave himself a target of having enough customers to be working every day, and he's now achieved it, which is great news. And I suppose shows the importance of setting yourself targets. You know what you're going for, you know what you're reaching for. So great win. And then another one, and I think this came out as well in terms of looking at all the feedback, and I'm sure we can all, resonate with this in that, sometimes every day is a win, just finding the motivation to carry, to keep going, getting that motivation to get up, get through your day's work. And that's kind of come through this year. It's been a very challenging year. And as we've seen in the chat, it's busy, and it's probably going to get even busier for this particular profession. So, it's well done to everybody to, keep going and keep having that motivation to keep delivering for your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's still a bit of a COVID hangover. I think we're all still feeling this year a bit exhausted from everything we've been through, and with all the legislation changing, it hasn't helped either. But I'd really encourage everyone to have a rest over Christmas, have some downtime, spend the time with your family, recharge, and then come back out ready to go again for 2023.
And avoid the lurgy that's going around.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Anita's group, and I think someone put this in the chat before about software, Caroline, but Carol and Anita's group started to move their clients onto NTD. It's a software, and it feels it's a big win. So that's, I suppose, given it's going to be one of the biggest challenges in the short term, she feels that her clients are really starting to appreciate the potential benefits of it. And it's been really, really well received. So I think any more stories like this, it would be really good to hear, or not so good, I suppose, in terms of the challenges that people are facing. Moving forward, going into next year, though, there's obviously a lot of software opportunities out there, all at different levels. And I think that, from our perspective, and I'm sure Sarah can add to this, we want to remain relatively impartial, but also it's important that you see the breadth of what's out there, arguably, so you can identify what software may be right for your clients and for your practice. So we will be introducing as many as we can over the course of the next year to give you an idea of what's available.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the software companies are doing a sterling job here, actually, in really pushing out some information. But obviously, there's the sub conversation is spend your money on our products. So what I would absolutely say is make sure that you've researched what's appropriate for you, right price point for your clients. There's plenty of choice out there, and we're talking to lots of different providers at the moment. So hopefully we can do some of that research for you as well, and sort of present that to you back in the new year.
Yeah, Angela's just put in the chat, great stories and achievements. On the subject of software, has anyone tried Hammock software for MTD, ITSA for landlords, or do you recommend any other for this? I don't, because I'm just verging into the software. I have to admit, I've been Excel for a very long time.
From a landlord perspective, there's it's for kind of like sole traders, landlords. There's Ampari, which is it's been around for a while, actually. They are probably going to be coming on the January coffee morning potentially, but Hammock is also on my list. I spoke to them at Accounting Web, so they're probably a number that may be showcased. That'd be good to have that debate around.
Karen also spoke to them last week at Accounting Web Expo, and she's got a demo booked for February.
Ah, right, okay.
And Mohammed has spoken to Coconut.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
quite a few people are speaking to Coconut. They're also someone that we made contact with and speaking to at the minute. So again, I think just trying to put a variety of different opportunities and different software over for people to decide what's right for them.
I've got 4 new clients starting in January that are all on Xero. So I'm looking at Xero in my Christmas break.
Okay, they've got some cheaper options there as well. So it's not all just a standard ledger. And if you become a partner with them as well, you've got access to cheaper prices there too.
Is that with Xero?
Mm.
I'll have a look at it.
So,
Thank you.
Here,
1 minute. Jen has put free agent can be used for landlords, although I don't use it, and is free for clients using bank accounts with NatWest and RBS.
there's an awful lot of softwares on the market, so you just need to be clear which one you're going to work with. Well, it's a business decision for yourself. I personally would choose one and become an expert in that rather than a jack of all trades type thing. So but it's entirely your business decision how you want to have a strategy around what softwares you'll use.
Yeah, because I've got new clients coming that are already using software. I've kind of gone with the software that they're already using. But I'll just move my other clients onto that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So here's a coffee with Jen. They have been celebrating their 2nd anniversary as a group, which also coincides with the launch of Coffee Mornings, because I think they were one of the first groups. So congratulations on your 2nd anniversary. And their big win has been their AML inspection results. So I can take from what Jen sent over is that everybody in the group has had an inspection. So they've all really supported each other through this, which has been great. Again, just showing that being part of a group can be great in terms of, learning from other people's experiences and how you can take those learnings and apply them to your situation. And they're all really, really proud of each other. So that's a really nice, positive story from a group. The results were really great, and they're all celebrating that. But what they're now doing is working on improving everything they have in place, and hopefully at the end of this, and when we talk about AML Complete, the new tool that we've developed, that will certainly help you in doing that, in terms of maintaining the high levels that you've already achieved. It's a platform that will help you keep everything in one place and make it easy to maintain. So but well done everybody on your results. Next is Mohammed, who I think is definitely on the call because I've seen his elf jumper. And Mohammed, as everyone may know, was the winner of our Accountant of the Year award this year, which was really, really great. And also British Muslim Awards highly commended 2022. So some great accolades there. And I actually I spoke to Mohammed yesterday because he was a speaker on the panel of our Coffee Morning on the Road back in September. And I think that having shared his kind of like day-to-day experience, which I'm sure, many of you have similar approaches and positive stories, I thought it'd be great to do a podcast with Mohammed. And I think that having seen some of these stories, reaching out to some of you to do a podcast on achievements and wins would be a really, really great way of sharing stories across the membership base. Because previously we've done, we've asked people to write their story, which I think can be quite difficult sometimes to big yourself up and to write down on an email rather than say on paper, what you've achieved. So look out for kind of podcast invitations. But what came out from the conversation with Mohammed is that through putting himself forward for these awards, lots of really positive things has come out of it. So take the IAB win. There was quite a lot of PR in Mohammed's local area. From that PR, and so from the newspaper article, other bodies locally have been in touch with him and asked him to put himself forward, spoken to his clients, they've given glowing reviews. So it's been a really, really positive piece and a really good piece for his self-esteem. So with the awards entries opening in January, I think, you know, really consider putting yourself out there. So well done, Mohammed, for doing that.
Yeah, well done, Mohammed. Can I just go down some? I've got 9 messages now in the chat.
Oh, go on.
So if I just jump to them. So Carol said that I have moved to KPM and I've found them really good. Wendy said, I use free agent for one of my clients who has a NatWest bank account and gets this free of charge. I'm also interested, though, to look at landlord-specific software options for another client. Sean has put, Anita's group is amazing. Everyone supports each other, and Anita in particular gives amazing support and coordination to us. It's nice having others that can help with your issues or questions. Angie, well done, Mohammed. Mohammed's put, also been nominated for Yorkshire Accountant of the Year 2023 and Yorkshire Advisor of the Year 2023.
Oh,
well
go
done, Mohammed.
Yeah.
There's no stopping Mohammed at the moment, is there?
On a roll. It's on a roll.
Wow. Rachel's put, what a year, Mohammed, well done. Mohammed, thanks everyone. Jamila, well done. Wendy, well done, Mohammed. Eva, congratulations, Mohammed. And then Michele, well done, Mohammed. What an achievement. Wow, amazing, Mohammed. Well done, you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right.
All going on.
I'll move on. This is the final one from the groups. This is collaboration and coffee with Michele. And here, you know, lots of really positive wins. About 15 years business built on trust and strong relationships. I think we've had a few others coming through on the chat and that, but really positive. Here, lots about word of mouth. So demonstrating consistent quality of work from the likes of Trevor and Christina there. Amelia, really good relationships, helps building trust and flexibility and being flexible towards client needs. So I think, like you were saying, Sarah, the fact that you're always there and you've got such a positive relationship with your existing clients is a big win, but something that you can take forward. And then Ashley, who's also our payroll professional of the year, I do believe, so that's a big win there. But Ashley provides niche payroll services that generates demand for her business, and again that gets out through word of mouth. So I think within Michele's group specifically, it's experience, knowledge, relationships, all really big positive wins there for the businesses in her group.
Yeah, well done
everybody. So there you go, well done. Woo! Had some kind of like party popper sound, sorry everybody, but well done. And well done to, as I say, these are just an extract from some members across groups, and I'm sure we've all had really positive wins. So well done everybody, and do share them with us.
Yeah, please do. It's really good to hear. Really good to hear.
Yeah, congratulations everybody, a really good year, it seems, by everybody. Well done.
Yeah, well done everybody. He's hoping next year's just as good or even better.
It will be better.
Better.
It will be better.
We've got a couple of congratulations in the chat. Oh yeah, congratulations to everybody. So it feels bizarre because we're going to change topic now, but not change the speakers. So it's still Sam and Sarah.
Going the full whammy today, full whammy. But before we do, just a summary piece of that. And I know Sarah has has explained how there's other ways in which you can kind of like build on the success that we've had. But in terms of how we can support you moving forward, obviously there's newsletters and there's the magazine, but in terms of all of these particular areas and focusing on the real positives that have come out of the stories, such as client growth and scalability, really inspirational stories, having confidence and progression personally and professionally. There's lots going on at the IAB, and sometimes I know that it can be quite difficult to navigate through all of that. But from a skills perspective, we are really focusing on CPD next year, and trying to deliver a breadth of courses which will be a reflection of all of the demands that are upon you in terms of knowledge and client requirements. And there's been lots of really positive talk about word of mouth in terms of business growth, and it seems that everyone's quite busy. But we've recently had a course that's been developed bespoke for the IAB from one of our directors in terms of how to grow your brand digitally. So it's, you don't have to pay someone to do it. You can get an understanding of how to do that from these courses and go forth and kind of like put, I suppose, a digital marketing plan in place. So those kind of things are really, really interesting.
That was a really interesting course as well, Sam.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you found it. I'm glad you found it interesting. Looking at probably breaking it down by module as well, Caroline, in the future, so people can access individual parts of it. I'm
looking forward to getting the video for the last one because I wasn't on the last one.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought David was going to do something wild. I thought he's done something he's not told us on the last.
No, I don't think he's that kind of a man.
Was he surprised?
Not while he's been recorded on Zoom anyway.
So there we go. We'll swiftly move on. But also, I say, just touching on skills, and I know obviously we spoke about Ashley there in terms of payroll, but also, diversifying skills, our association with CIPP and our qualifications in the payroll area. That's a really good alliance to have. And also the discounted membership as well does give you access to an awful lot of legislation data, which is a fast-paced, quick changing area, given all of the many budgets, which hopefully there won't be that many next year, but it's been I think proven a really positive relationship for many members who've used that legislation. But from a mindset point of view, again, something that's come out, and I think, just in terms of confidence, being able to relax, being able to get a balance, we're going to focus on mindset a lot more next year. We've had quite a lot of success with the webinar that we did in September. The awards, as I say, are coming up, so that's great for self-esteem. We'll continue to deliver as many webinars as we can across a number of subjects, but again, please do feed in any particular areas that you feel you do need to brush up on, or you would like to know more on, then do feed that into the marketing or membership email address, so we can try and tailor the content as best possible. And from a support point of view, I think the chat coming through about how great the ambassador groups are is really good to know that there's a great network out there and that they're really successful. So if you feel like you could step up to the role of being an ambassador, then that would be really great to get more groups up and running. We'd really love that, or be a member of a group. But please do step forward if you feel you can commit to the time of being an ambassador.
Christine's put in the chat now appreciation to all ambassador groups. And then Carol has also put, thank you everyone at the IAB for your hard work and support.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm going to echo Sam's words there. We really, really would like some more members to be involved in the ambassador groups. And so, yes, if you'd like to step forward as ambassador, we'd really welcome that. So, please make it one of your New Year's resolutions.
Yes,
to become an ambassador or to join an
ambassador. Yeah, well, either would be good.
Absolutely. And then as we come on to tools, finally, AML Complete, which is our new tool, our newest tool, which we'll have a little bit of an update on. But obviously IAB Education, bridging the tools and the skills gap, where all of our qualifications will sit, and member benefits, which I am kind of madly paddling underneath of my legs, constantly trying to keep update and evolve. But hopefully they are a useful kind of tool and a selection of benefits to have. So there's lots of different ways which hopefully can support you moving forward. But do keep in touch with us.
Yeah, Mohammed's put of the best things to being ambassadors. It's been amazing to work with others in our IAB family. And then Shaheen's put, thank you to all successful members who shared their successful stories. They've been very positive and encouraging. Also, congratulations, Mohammed, and glad to, I think it means be in his group. And then Karen's put, really cannot recommend highly enough being a member of an ambassador group. And Kim's put, my ambassador group, so helpful and supportive.
No, so good.
That's really nice. Right, I think the final one now, just moving on to AML Complete. So I think quite eagerly awaited. There's been, I can assure you, lots of works going on behind the scenes. But AML Complete essentially is a new risk and AML practice management platform that we have developed bespoke for our AML supervised members. And ultimately it houses all relevant AML information in one central place. So it really helps, the fact that it's in one central place, it really helps you keep track of technical compliance. So seeing when an action is needed, but also more importantly, highlighting specific areas of risk within your practice. So arguably the more data, the more detailed that you know, it's basically as good as what you put in it in terms of it can be really helpful and really apply focus. It provides an overall risk rating, so it shows what specific factors have generated risk, so you know how you can react and where to apply yourself. So hopefully, to say from a management perspective, it will help the time that is spent on AML more meaningful, because you'll know where to focus. So over the course of this year, we've been undergoing a test, learn, activate process, and it's now in its final stages. So we will be in a position to phase the access out to our AML supervised members over the course of next year. So please do look in your inbox for your phased access. But ultimately, I suppose the way to think about it, and not showing any visuals, is that it's quite simple data input interface. So not wanting to then dumb it down, but think of car insurance in terms of your drop down boxes, and it's really simple to use. But as I say before, in terms of giving you a visual overview, the dashboard that you get, which shows you kind of like arguably where your risk is again a really useful tool, and it's a visual tool, so it's a really good thing to have. And there's also a document upload capability as well, so you know, to ensure that all kind of like relevant supporting information can also be kept in one place as well. So there's a little bit of there'll be some more detail in the magazine about that, and I'm sure we'll kind of like keep you up to date now over the course of the year, but it was just to give you an update on where we are with that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this to be launched, because obviously we've done quite a lot of testing with this as well. So yeah, really pleased to be getting this out into the marketplace. It'll be brilliant for everybody.
Yeah,
I was on the test pilot, the very first bit. And yeah, it was really easy to use. It was really straightforward. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it going live and putting all my clients on it.
So yeah, a lot of complex work to make it seem very simple.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's always in the background.
So yeah, no, yeah, well done to the team for this. This has been a mammoth project. So
It has a lot bigger than we thought. It's like, oh gosh. Can't tell you how much. And then especially at the beginning, when we were trying to actually find people who could actually build what we wanted, and at the beginning it all sounded very simple, and they go yeah, and you get down to the nitty-gritty and they're like, no, yeah, we don't want to do that.
Well, Rob set me a username up, and I think it took me about 6 attempts before it actually worked. But yeah,
the background complexity of it is really in depth, and it has been. It's a good job I'm grey already.
That's why I've got my hat, Janet. So Kim's put in the chat, my ambassador group is so helpful and supportive. Alison, I love being in my ambassador group. They are a great support, source of knowledge, and for letting off steam. Yes, we regularly let off steam in my group. Mohammed said will be an awesome tool to have the AML complete. Angie, it will be worth all the hard work when we are using it. I can't wait. Yeah. I'm sure we all appreciate the hard work that you're all putting into it. Yeah. To get it up and running.
It will be good. It will be good when it's all there and everybody's on it.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole aim is to make it easier for members, because you know AML is hard enough work, and you've got enough work to do dealing with your clients.
Yeah. So, yeah. Kim's put me too, and then Tori, really looking forward to AML complete. Thank you for all the hard work.
Yeah. So
on that note, that is the end of our wins. So thank you everyone that contributed. Well done.
No, thank you for going through it, Sam.
Really
yeah, well done everybody. You all deserve a round of applause. You really do.
Yeah.
Have a lovely morning.
And obviously, Janet, do you want to just quickly talk about the awards, because that's kind of the entry's going to open in January.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to this year. Obviously, it's our 50th anniversary. for IAB and 15 years of IAAP. So we're really looking forward to launching those in January. It will be in the House of Lords, so we're shifting down a terrace because the House of Commons couldn't do both things. So we've had to move down one terrace. So there's an afternoon for all our normal awards, and then we've got hopefully some dignitaries from other countries coming as well for the evening as well. So it's get your entries in. There'll be Sam's going to be doing the launch, her and Tom have sorted that out. So all apply, get in, and I'm looking forward to reading all the applications again, because it's one of my favourite things of the year, is to actually seeing all the nominations of bookkeeper and accountant of the year and payroll. It's really nice seeing everybody's story and how, what people, what your clients and also think about you. They're really moving stories. They're fab. So enter.
Yeah, but more importantly, we're into the entries open in January. We've extended the application period this year because we had so many last year. So again, have a think about that over Christmas. But yeah, we'd love to welcome as many people to apply as possible.
Can't wait.
Absolutely. So there's lots of Merry Christmases coming through.
Yeah, there is lots of Merry
on the
Christmases. Elaine's put thank you for this morning. Lots of great information from Sarah and Sue. I think she means Sam. Lots of inspirational stories. Yeah, she does mean Sam. And then, yeah, lots of Merry Christmases, Happy New Year's, all the best for 2023. And people can now spend the gap in between Christmas and New Year when they didn't know what they were doing, what they were going to do. They can now write the nominations for next year's awards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Up to date before January and tax season starts all over again.
Yeah. Before you get into that mad
January.
Yeah.
You can spend the 27th and the 28th when nothing really happens.
Yeah, when you're just in that lull.
Yeah. Writing your own nomination for the awards.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
that might just be me.
Thank you. Amazing 2022, and I so look forward to next year working with you all again. So
yeah, really do look forward to it. A big Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. Have a safe and happy Christmas to you and all your families. Enjoy.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and our next meeting will be Wednesday the 14th of January 2023, and again at 11 a.m.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right,
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.